Hey guys, we've got a sports show coming up. Setup is in one day, and I'm going to show you what it takes to get my booth set up, and maybe just provide some input for some of you that are thinking about doing a sports show or a trade show. So I've got a cargo trailer behind me here. You know, I've got a truck. I can load all my sports show stuff in it, but I don't have a canopy on my truck. And right now it's drizzling. And it never fails this time of year. You know, you're going to do the sports show or something like that, and it's raining. And I've got some stuff that if it gets wet, it's ruined. And so I've got to keep it dry. So fortunately, I borrowed a trailer from a buddy. It's way more trailer than I need, but it's once down and once back. I leave it at the sports show while I'm there. Just park it on property, and it just makes everything a lot easier. Most importantly, it makes it really nice to keep everything dry. Okay, so I don't have a whole lot. These are actually cushions from my buddy's house that I borrowed the trailer. They store their cushions, their outdoor cushions, in the trailer. I've got a tall ladder for getting my booth put together. I've got a table. I've got a couple chairs here. This is my display. And then up in here I've got a long table and a stand for my TV. And then in the corner there I've got my carpet, and then my lighting and everything in that box. Over the years, I've learned to pare my stuff down as much as possible. In fact, this spring, I plan on figuring out a new table design so I can completely break that down. Because if I can break that table down, it's a good chance I could get everything to the show inside the cab of the truck, and the stuff I do need to put in the bed of the truck, if it gets wet, it won't hurt it. So this is going to be a several day process. I'll walk you guys through it. We'll head down to the Puyallup Fairgrounds tomorrow, get everything set up, and show you what it takes, kind of talk about some of the ins and outs and some of the creature comforts that you've got to have if you're doing a trade show. I'm looking forward to this. We haven't had a sports show in 2 years. I know they're going to have a bunch of COVID procedures in place. That's fine. I don't care. Just go down there, be safe, keep our hands clean, lots of hand sanitizer and lots of hand washing. And yeah, it'll be fun. We'll get to do a lot of talking about fishing, which is one of my favorite things to talk about. So I'm going to go through this stuff and start getting it tied down inside the trailer so it's not jostling around on the ride down to the fairgrounds. So let's get to it. If you're using any kind of wood furniture for a trade show, you're going to get scratches. I've got these Guardsman touch-up pins. They make it great to touch up the wood. It just literally makes the scratches disappear. So I'm going to give this table a little wipe down and work on some of the scratch marks on it. So we've hooked up the trailer. We're heading down to Puyallup to set up the show. I just thought I'd take a few minutes and talk about some show stuff that maybe might help you guys out if you're not doing a show yourself, or if you're thinking about getting into it. I'm surprised by the amount of guides I've talked to that aren't doing a show right now and haven't done any shows, and they have a bunch of questions, so maybe this will help you out. There's a couple ways you can do a show. You know, I mentioned it yesterday, but it's really important that you have a great display. That's what's going to stop all these people that are walking through, milling around. It's going to stop them just long enough for you to engage them, because it's all about timing. You know, if you go to your show and you just sit there like a bump on a log, you don't engage people and talk to them about fishing or whatever it is that you're trying to sell them, they're going to keep on walking. So you're there to engage and be found, and so have a really great display. I'll try and get some examples this week of some great displays and maybe some that could use some work. Just in my opinion, right? Everybody has an idea of what they think works for them. And I guess the bottom line is, you know, if you're making sales, if you're booking trips, then whatever you're doing is working. But, you know, so you get yourself a display, and there's some decisions to make, and that is, do you want to rent your tables, rent your carpet? I'll tell you the number one thing: don't do a show without carpet and without pad, because your feet and back will just be killing you. So make sure that if you're going to rent it, get the pad and get the carpet, and they'll have show services that you can pay to get tables, curtains, curtains around the table, all sorts of stuff, right? So I went to a lot of shows before I started doing shows, and I looked at what looks good, what's cohesive, and the best cohesiveness I thought were those booths that had their own furniture, they had their own carpet, their own flooring, whatever that is. And so I ended up buying a tiled foam carpet that comes apart in 2x2 squares, and it goes up. It's exactly 10 by 10, which most show booths are 10 by 10. And yeah, it works great. So I've got my own flooring, I have my own table, I've got my own chairs. It's important that if you do have a chair, whatever you have is comfortable. I always recommend the high back chairs or the high standing chairs, so that even as people walk by, you're sitting higher than sitting, you know, like in a lawn chair. And so you're not looking up at people, you're looking at them in the eyes. And so I have high chairs. They're for all intents and purposes, they're makeup chairs. They're used for the makeup artist in the movie industry and film industry. So yeah, there's a couple routes you can go. Shows are going to range in price anywhere from $600 to $3,000 for one booth for the duration of the show. And so you just need to look into your demographics, see what areas make sense for you to do your shows. And I would also suggest, before you even do a show, go to that show, see how many people are there, how many guides in general do they have. You know, if you're a conventional tackle guy, what do you offer? How many guys are there that offer the exact same thing you do? Because ultimately that is competition for the customer, right? And those customers are looking for a good deal, but they're also looking to go with somebody who's competent. And so that's something to consider. You might even want to get brochures, check out their prices, see what kind of show specials they're offering, if they're offering any. I typically don't offer show specials anymore. I did when I started, and it was okay, but what I found is that a lot of folks that got a special at the show, they wanted that same special anytime they fished with you, and you're not making the money that you should be making to pay the bills. So that's something to consider. You know, if you're a fly fishing angler, then you want to see how many fly fishing guys are there. You know, it's just whatever it is that you're offering, do some research, right? Don't just say, hey, I'm going to go do a show and go at it blindly. All right, so we made good time getting down here. There's nobody here, so I'm actually just gonna back the cargo trailer in. As you look, it's pretty wide open. So I'm just gonna back in and get unloaded and set everything up. I'm backed into the building. Normally, if you showed up on day 2 of setup, you would not be able to do this. You would have to park outside and cart all your stuff in. But we are here early, nobody's here, back right in, dump our stuff off, and then set the booth up. Okay, so the first thing I recommend is that before you go to your trade show, set your booth up at home. That way you know the process to get it up. You know, I got everything unloaded in like less than 5 minutes. I anticipate it'll take me about 20, maybe 25 minutes to set this booth up. So let's get to it. So I was talking about cushion carpet. This is a carpet layer on top of cushion. It's about a 1/2 inch thick. And what I did to make this easy is I numbered all my floor tiles, and so it makes putting it down really easy. I can get my floor down usually in about 8 to 10 minutes. So I've got everything set up. The only thing that's not done is power. They don't have power run yet because they'll run power from above and drop it down. But it's really easy to come in the day of the show and just put a plug in and check my lights. So let me walk you through my booth. Okay, so like I said, you want a display that's gonna get them to stop and look. Now I've transformed this over the years. I went from a single piece display to this 3-piece display. And the reason I did that is all about speed and setting up and taking down, but still looking good. I have that set upon a real narrow folding table, and I custom built a skirt just so I could stick stuff under it and hide it, keep it out of the way. I've got media. And then one thing I do is I bring one of my bench seats from my sled so that I can store stuff in it because I can lock that. Hey guys, it's the second day of the show. I got here yesterday early and I was able to do a few things, but it was too busy to shoot any videos. So just shooting some video today. You can see the booth is all set up, and let's walk around and look at some other booths in the show. Here's a real eye-catching display. It's for the Columbia River and Snake River Northern Pike Minnow Sport Reward Fishery. So we got some good graphics, some good information. Even though this is a corner booth, they have a barrier up so people can't cross and cut across their booth, but they have a lot of nice room in the middle so that they can talk to folks. So here's a booth that really needs some improvement. Yeah, he's there to talk to people, and he's got his brand up, but it's really not a booth that's going to stop people in their tracks, so it gives him an extra second to engage folks. Guys, I'm in front of a booth here that really makes you stop and take a look, and so I'd like to talk to the guy in the booth that he's selling these trips. His name is Mike. Mike, you've got a great looking booth here.
Thank you.
What really drove your decision to have a booth like this?
Well, we're just trying to show you and represent what we do in Mexico. Our two lodges at famous Lake El Salto and our new Lake Picacho. So the beauty of the lodges, the exotic trips, and then also, we outfit the Amazon in the middle of the Amazon jungle in Brazil for the hardest fighting freshwater fish there is, one of the peacock bass, and other species. But it's an attractive booth. A lot of people want to do the exotic vacations, but we're the guys. We've been in business for 30 years. One of the pioneers of fishing in the Amazon. And of course, if you're a bass guy, Lake El Salto is on everybody's bucket list. It's our Disneyland for us bass fishing guys.
Nice. So Mike, for the guy, a guide or a charter captain, maybe they've been in the business a while, maybe they're just starting, they haven't done sport shows or trade shows. Yeah. What's your advice to them as far as getting a booth that does just what you described? You're capturing the essence of what you're offering.
You just got to get something that's attractive, and you got to promote your product, is the biggest thing. You got to be able to show the people, hey, this is what I have to offer. And you got to make it to like, man, I really want to go there.
Nice. Well, Mike, thanks a lot. Good luck at the show. I hope you book a lot of trips.
You bet. Thank you.
All right, guys. So I hope this information has been helpful to you if you're looking to start doing trade shows. There's a lot of tips and tricks about doing it. You can spend a lot of money on a display, but you can also get really great displays for a very affordable price. I'm going to put a link in the description down below that will send you to a website I've purchased stuff from. I think they're very affordable and they have really good quality. It just all depends on what you want your display to look like. So again, go to one of your sports shows, really walk around, and instead of looking at the stuff, look at how the different vendors are marketing their services, because that's really what you're selling. You're selling your service. And so you want to market that and have something that's eye-catching so that they stop and they talk to you. If you ever have questions, put comments in the comment section down below. I always answer those. Or if you need to, send me an email. I'll be glad to help out. Until next time, thanks for watching.